Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton, and we come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful holiday together with your family. It seems like to me, with all that's going on in the world, this is a time to step aside and take account of all the good things you have in your life and be grateful for them. And I want to share about that with you today. Now, Thanksgiving is a very special time in my life. Our family a lot of my family is long gone. And that's some of the thoughts I wanted to share with you today. As I look back over time and the various Thanksgivings and the various ways that I celebrated them, it's it really, I get sentimental. I don't know about you. Holidays are kind of interesting because everybody gets together, and sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not, But over the years, I look back and I have been thinking a lot. My parents have been gone a long, long time, long, long time. And it seems unbelievable that they could be gone as long as they have, like 35 years. And I look back and I think of the value of parents and what they mean to you. And if you're a parent or a grandparent, I honestly think that that is the most important role of our lives. And we all do it differently. We all have different approaches to it. Some people work, some people stay home. But I thought about that because even though it's been many, many years that I've had my parents in my life, they still guide my life. I can still hear them giving me certain instructions or not, and, keeping me out of trouble or not. And I look back and I think as an adult, as a mother, as an aunt, that what we do in our lives, in our families, is probably, first of all, the most volatile in many ways, and it's also the most emotional, but it's also something that will be with you for the rest of your life. I've often thought that a lot of my values and a lot of my perceptions in life, if you will, a lot of my attitudes came because of certain things that my parents taught me. I guess I'm also kind of melancholy because over the last couple, 3 years, we've lost several people, young people in our family. Many of you know that I lost my daughter to COVID a year ago, and this will be our first Thanksgiving without her. She died right after Thanksgiving and just before Christmas. And in the meantime, I lost my nephew, who was only 31 years old, and to cancer. And totally, his parents are just beside themselves. And this past week, we lost my great niece, and she was only 15 years old. And unexpectedly, she had a colon blockage, and then it ended up with a small intestine bursting, and she died very quickly. And I look at the heartache that is going on in that family as we're going into the Christmas and the holiday seasons. And it really brings me to the word gratitude. And of course, Thanksgiving is all about Thanksgiving, but it gets so lost up in Black Friday and all the other things. And I think today that it's a time to stop and have gratitude. And I believe gratitude is probably one of the most powerful emotions on earth. I was doing some research before I came on. This is from Psychology Today. I can't tell you I always agree with Psychology Today, by the way, but they did a good job on this one. Anyway, they're saying gratitude's the expression of appreciation for what one has. Now, that's interesting because it isn't what you own. It's what you have in your life, your values, your relationships, and like that. It's a recognition of value independent of monetary worth. Spontaneously generated from within, it's an affirmation of goodness and warmth. This social emotion strengthens relationships, and its roots run deep in evolutionary history, emanating from the survival value of helping others and being helped in return. Studies show that specific areas of the brain are involved in experiencing and expressing gratitude. Brain scans of people assigned to tasks that stimulates expression of gratitude show lasting changes in the prefrontal cortex that heighten sensitivity to future experiences of gratitude. So all of that is a bunch of garbly goop to say that gratitude is one of those emotions that can change your life. And I share that. It goes on to say, isn't an emotion? Well, it's one that makes a person feel happier. Gratefulness is also a mood as well as a personality trait. Some people are just more inclined to feel grateful as a daily habit. I think that being grateful is one of the most powerful resources that God gave man. And quite frankly, I think God suspects or expects that we should be grateful a lot more often than we probably are. Whenever I'm feeling down or I'm feeling challenged or I'm feeling overwhelmed, I remember that somewhere along the line, I should sit down and remember what I'm grateful for. Several years back, I became a widow after 44 years of marriage, and I didn't really want that. Okay. I had an incredible marriage, and most of you know that since then I have remarried and I have another incredible marriage. But that 2 year period, and it was a kind of a self-imposed 2 year period, I had made a just a straightforward decision that I wasn't going to date for 2 years because I wanted to know who I was. And I also wanted to kind of, out of respect for that previous relationship. But during that time, it would become overwhelming. I was trying to raise money for the movie Sextortion. I was continuing my work. And in that time, I was traveling a lot. And it would get to you at times. Sometimes I would be lonely. Sometimes I would be discouraged. And you wouldn't have that person that had been with you all your life, it seemed like, right there cheering you on. And so I would sit down and I'd make a list of everything that I'm grateful for. And I ended up at 2 pages on a yellow pad. I'm old fashioned. I didn't get out my iPad. I wrote it out on a tablet. And I still have it, by the way. And I'm still grateful for the things that are on it. But it's an interesting thing when you have gratitude. I always kind of bristle when I meet people who are extremely negative, who take great pleasure in putting other people down or tearing them apart or comparing themselves to others. And all of those are negative kinds of things. And it's a very quick way of being depressed, quite frankly. And the antidote to depression and the antidote to getting out of your funk is to stop and write down the things that you are grateful for. Look around. All of us have something to be grateful for. Even if we don't have a lot of money, we have more money than most people in the world if you've traveled around the world. So this article goes on to say gratitude is both a temporary feeling and a dispositional trait. In both cases, gratitude involves a process of recognizing first that one has obtained a positive outcome, and second, that it's an external source for that good outcome. You see, once we choose to be happy, or once we choose to be grateful for what we have, it changes our perspective. It changes the way that we treat others. It changes the way that we encounter certain situations or that we decide on how we're going to do problem solving. It changes the way that we feel when we get up in the morning. A lot of times what I do when I get up early, and I'm an early riser, I go outside and I just look around, look at the trees, listen to the birds. In my case, yell at the rabbits, yell at the squirrels that's eating my grass. But go around and look around, and it is just nearly impossible not to feel good about life when you go outside and thank God for what is going on. All the complexity of our world is still there, still a beautiful thing. It's time to stop and say thank you and realize I don't know how God keeps it going every day, but He does. And I am, for one person, very, very grateful. So we're coming up against a break. I'm going to ask you to stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Are you tired of eating at the same old restaurants? Let me tell you about a fabulous Italian restaurant we found in Riverside, Mamma Mia's Italian Restaurant. Their caprese salad is exquisite with candied balsamic glaze. All of their sauces are special recipes using only the best olive oils. The salads are fresh and healthy. They offer a wonderful array of pastas, including shrimp scampi, capellini, bolognese, and lasagna. They're famous for their gourmet pizza, and you can order online for takeout or have a special date for dining in with family and friends. Mamma Mia's caters special occasions and host private events. You have to try it out. Mamma Mia's Italian Restaurant, located at 10971 Magnolia Avenue in Riverside, 1 block north of La Sierra on Magnolia. That's Mamma Mia's in Riverside. Be sure to tell Michael, Alex, or Joseph you heard it on AM 590 The Answer.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of MillionKids.org. I believe the 4 most powerful words on earth are I believe in you. So we created a challenge coin that says, I believe in you on one side and stand tall, you are loved on the other side. This one-of-a-kind challenge coin is a perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, Christmas presents, or just an anytime gift for someone you love. What a powerful message for a parent or a grandparent to give to a young person. This 2-inch coin is made of polished gold. It's striking to look at, and it is priceless to hold. It is packaged in a beautiful black velvet gift box. What a great way to leave a legacy of love that will last forever. To purchase this coin, go to millionkids.org/gallery. Each coin is $25. Go to millionkids.org/gallery to purchase and give a legacy of love.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sellers and buyers recognize that these low interest rates will not last. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I know I did, and I had a good time going up before Thanksgiving. And I'm very, very grateful for my family, what is left of it, and the new family that I acquired in my marriage. And it's a pleasure to be able to go somewhere and have somebody to be with that you can share things and do something special for them. I have a friend that has been my best friend for many, many years, probably 40 some years. And she always makes it a point to do something special for me. Even if we're just going to meet for a lunch, she will have something special that she's prepared to get ready for it. And she's the most optimistic person. And you say to yourself, what's driving that? And she and I have talked about that. And she said, it's a choice. You can decide you're going to be happy, you're going to be sad. And you can't control life. You look around at all that's going on in the world. And I don't know about you, but there are times it just gets overwhelming. And I think that, what is going on in the world? And I have almost no control over it. Well, it is true. I don't have control over that. But I have control over myself and the decisions that I decide to make. And yeah, that's going to happen whether I'm happy or not happy, whether I feel good about life or not. So I look back and I think to myself how fortunate I have been to have parents who loved me, to have in-laws who loved me. I was one of those lucky, lucky folks that had just incredibly wonderful in-laws. And I miss my mother-in-law. She's been gone a long time. But she just amazing, amazing people. And I also want to say how much I appreciate the Me and Kids family. Now, I'm the voice of Me and Kids. By the way, if you're new to this show is brought to you by millionkids.org, MILLION, millionkids.org. Our normal day to day work is to combat things like sex and labor trafficking and social media exploitation. I serve as the training and outreach coordinator for the Riverside County Anti Human Trafficking Task Force. And I've done that for 13 years. So that means I deal with real cases. That also means I deal with a lot of hard stuff. And that's my choice. It's where God put me, and I'm very appreciative. But it's not just me. We have an entire team of people at Me and Kids that most people don't realize. And I wanted to kind of give them a shout out. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to our Human Trafficking Task Force in Riverside County. Amazing men and women, about 13 of them, I think. And it's all led by Sheriff Chad Bianco. And I see people out there bashing him and like that. But I'm going to tell you, the man that I know is really passionate about keeping kids safe from predators. And I'll take that any day. And our task force, they go out after the worst of the worst. I mean, and there's a task force that reports over to the to Mike Hestron's office, the DA's office. And we in Riverside County and San Bernardino County, by the way, I've met them and I support them also. We're like in an enclave of law enforcement and prosecutors who care and who care deeply. Now, they don't always get to have their way. That's some of the challenges of working with the law. But at least we have people who want to fight for what is right. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful that there are people that go out and take on pedophiles that trick our kids. My apologies, I'm getting a phone call here. That trick our kids. I'm very proud of people that are willing to take that on. That's hard work. That is very difficult work to literally be in a situation where you're tracking down pedophiles and predators and getting the evidence that you need to be able to prosecute them and get them off the street. If we didn't have people who did that, our kids would be a whole lot more at risk. So I'm very grateful to be able to work with really professional people. I'm also grateful for Dina and Chris and Dan, my producer, that's helping me with this show today. And Linda. Linda does speaking for us. She is a private investigator, one of the very best, by the way. She specializes in online sex crimes and child sex crimes and works heavily with law enforcement to do that. By the way, she and I are about to expand our services here, where we're going to be having a service where you can do a cell phone analysis of your child if you think your child's in trouble, or we can even do a cell phone forensics if your child's missing. And so we purchased the equipment. Thank you to an incredible people that donated for us to be able to purchase this very expensive equipment and be able to offer that service. So this is Linda Berg-Herring. She does speaking for us a lot in Orange County. Nancy Aguirre is another one. I've known her for 10 years, probably, maybe only 6 or 8, but it seems like 10. But she also speaks on our behalf, and Tanya Holt also. So a lot of people make up Me and Kids that you don't see. Chris Kleiss does all of our social media, and it's a darn good thing because you don't want me doing it. So it's an interesting thing. Also, the team of people that helped us get SB 14 passed. Finally, after a whole lot of headbanging, it was a miracle in California that finally this year, it almost didn't happen, but we finally got a law that says child sex trafficking is a serious crime. Can you believe that? Can you believe that it was hard to get a bill like that through? I mean, if child sex trafficking cannot be considered a serious crime, what can be? And it took just an unbelievable amount of effort by people to get that through. I'm very grateful to have a home where I'm safe. And this is, some days it feels like maybe it's not going to be so much anymore. And there's a lot of people out there that are experiencing a lot of crime. But today I have that. I'm very grateful to have cars that run. Yeah, you don't realize how valuable a car is until it no longer runs. Yeah, you just take it for granted. As long as you make the payment, then you have a car. And I'm very, very grateful for health. It's not perfect by any means. That there's a lot of people I know that don't have good health. So I look at my life and I say, if you look around, we are a very blessed people. I watched this war going on with Israel and Palestine. I've been to Israel and I've been to Palestine, and I'll take the United States of America any day. That is a very difficult place to be and live. I myself support the Israelis because I understand the world that they live in. And I also think that nobody should ever have to endure what happened on October 7th. But I look around and I think, we need to teach our kids about the value of freedom. I was very fortunate this past weekend. I got to go to the Marine Corps ball. It was a friend of ours that took a whole bunch of us down there. And what a wonderful experience. I don't have a lot of military in my personal life, but what a wonderful experience it was to meet so many young and not so young people who either gave their life or gave portions of their body or are on the way to the battlefield to be able to defend our freedom. I'm old enough to know that when that Star-Spangled Banner plays, I stop, I look up, I salute. And I salute not just the flag, but all the men and women who spent literally months and years away from their family, who gave parts of their lives, parts of their bodies, so that we can be free today. We must stop and appreciate that. When I see all these protests out there, I say to myself, you're missing the point. You're really missing the point of this. We are so fortunate, even if it's compromised, even if it's not in a situation that you would want. When you look around the world today, I'll take America over any other place. And quite frankly, without people like I saw at that Marine Corps ball, we probably wouldn't be here doing this. This takes a tremendous amount of personal sacrifice. And I think that that's some of the problem, is that many of these younger generations haven't made those sacrifices. They haven't seen what the price was that put it together. And so I want to just take this holiday season to say thank you to all the military people that made this happen. Thank you to my mom and dad for all the sacrifices they made. Thank you to all the people that support me at Million Kids that make this story happen every day, so that when people call and say I'm being blackmailed, we can give them an answer. I know somebody who's being trafficked. I know how to get them assistance. We can't do that without a whole lot of people who care. We are up against the break again, so I'm going to ask you to stay with us. We'll be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's Million Kids, MILLIONKIDS.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. We are talking about Thanksgiving and all that we're grateful for. So I did a little research on this about how to cultivate gratitude. I did this because I know so many people who spend their whole lives just grumbling. How do you like that word? Grumbling. Sorry about that. Grumbling about everything that's wrong in their life. They go to a restaurant and, they don't like the server and they don't like the food and they don't like this and they don't like that. And surely you can find something you like. And so I looked at this article, again, by Psychology Today. Gratitude starts with noticing the goodness in life. A materialistic culture that encourages constant wanting and sees possession as a source of happiness is not a good ground for gratitude. I thought about that. How many people, and I'm not saying I'm innocent either, but you're feeling a little down and you find yourself going shopping. Maybe if I can just have this one little trinket or a new outfit or something special that I wanted, or you just go on Amazon and get whatever you want. That is a scary kind of thing. I think about that when I go to Costco. Costco is interesting because you go in there for what? 3 items, and you come out with, $450 worth of stuff that you never needed. And it's an interesting thing, the way we look at materialism to lift our spirits and make us happy. But one of the problems with that is you're not happy if you don't have the money to pay for it. So then you have kind of a circulating kind of thing. It goes on to say that envy and cynicism and narcissism are thieves of gratitude. I think that is absolutely true. I know people that me first, me everything, and they're never going to be happy because me is not enough. The real value, I believe, is cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Attitude of gratitude. All I could come up with is gravity. I can tell I have been on vacation way too long. Anyway, but I thought about that because as I look back, I'm of the generation where my parents, I was after the war and I saw a lot of the Vietnam War and I tried to understand things that are going on in the world. And one of the things that my parents taught me was respect for others, number one. And number two, that you can be all that you can be. I also think that one of the most important things that we can teach our kids and ourselves, by the way, is there's no such thing as damaged goods. Some people never quite get over that low self-esteem, that feeling of I'm not quite as good as other people. If you're struggling with that, think about that, because of the fact that what you're doing is identifying all the negativity of your life as opposed to all the good things that have happened in your life. And you're no better or no worse than anybody else. Other people just choose to believe they're valuable. And that is something that I try to share with kids. Self-esteem is a decision you make. It's an attitude you form. It is a gift you give yourself. You can decide, okay, I've done some stuff I don't like, and I've done some stuff I'm proud of. But you're no different than anybody else because I have never met a perfect human being. It's a matter of making up a decision that you're going to be grateful for your life as where it's at, and that you're going to be the best you can be, and you're going to forgive yourself for the rest of it. And that is one of the things we need to teach our kids, because that is the quickest way a predator literally surrounds a child with this attitude of you're ruined, you've made mistakes, and you'll never be able to recover. And we need to bulletproof our kids with basically teaching them, number one, gratitude, to be grateful for who they are and where they're at in their life. Even if they don't have all the possessions other people have, they can have strong self-esteem. They can have strong self-worth. They can choose to be happy and they can choose to be grateful. Just being around your family and friends can help you feel more grateful. Depends on the family, probably. After being more appreciative of life and feeling less cynical pushes you in a more thankful frame of mind. I think that this is something that it's kind of like making a decision to exercise or lose weight. You make a decision that I'm going to find the good in life. I'm going to find the good in myself. I'm going to find the good in my family. And I am going to be grateful for where we're at. And if you're a parent, I think that's one of the most important things that you can teach a child. What makes a person feel grateful? That depends on the person, with all we differ in degree to which we're inclined to experience and express gratitude. They don't chase happiness or work overtime for months at a time. By and large, they're accepting and content. So where I'm at today is that I believe that it's important for us to stop. It is Thanksgiving. Look around you. Look at the sky and the trees and the freedom that you have. Be grateful for that hot cup of coffee or that cup of tea, for the music that's playing that might be your favorite music, for just going for a walk and looking around all that is around you. Just the fact that you're in a place where you can go for a walk. Do small acts of kindness for others. Be cheerful. And I really want to share that with you with older people. I have a couple older people in my life, and I just cherish them to death, mainly because so much of my family has gone on before, and these people are still here with me. And I know it won't be forever. One of us, one of them, one of us will be gone at some point. So I cherish every day that we have. I listen to what they have to say. If you have older people in your family, by the way, especially younger people, if you have a mother-in-law or a mother or dad or grandpa, listen to them. They need somebody that's going to listen to them. You may have heard me share this, but I'll never forget being over at Mimi's one morning having breakfast. And there were about 8 to 10 people at the table. There might have been more than that. But it was obviously Grandma's birthday from the balloons and all that. And as I sat there and watched, everybody there was on the phone. They were playing some game, they were doing something, and you could just see Grandma sitting there. She had been so excited it was going to be her special day, and nobody was talking to her. Everybody was self-consumed in there. I could almost see her rewriting her will, okay, as she sat there. But one of the greatest gifts you can give to elderly people is that gift of listening. They spend a lot of time alone and they're forming opinions and they have a lifetime of experience. And so give them the gift of listening and enjoying their life with them. Be thankful that somebody waved your car through in the parking lot. It doesn't happen too often. I say that whenever you go out to dinner, be kind and nice to your server. Even if the food doesn't meet your expectations, it's not their fault. They're trying hard, and that's an important thing to do. Take a moment and be grateful that your best friend texts you whenever you're not feeling particularly well. Think about all the things that your parents may have done for you and that you will do for your kids. I cannot stress that enough. I have thought that all for the last week, is that if there's one thing that I could share with parents, and parents, they talk to me all the time because their kids are sending something on the internet that's getting them in trouble and like that. But parents are the most precious gift on earth. And you only get one shot at it. And whatever you do or say with your children is going to be a lifetime. The day will come when they have some expression, some phrase that you said, and they'll laugh to themselves and go, "Remember, Mom used to say that." Nobody says that anymore. Well, that's okay. That's okay that nobody says that anymore. The point is that you can make a great impression. I had that experience not too long ago. I went back to my hometown. I was fortunate to be inducted in the Hall of Fame of my little high school. It was actually bigger than I thought. And it was a bigger deal than I thought. But I hadn't been home in years. And I looked around and I thought, I probably wasn't grateful enough for all the things that I learned in this town and all the people I knew that literally brought me joy, supported me, believed in me, and like that. So this is Thanksgiving weekend. I'd encourage you to look around and be thankful for what you have. We'll be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced: The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590. The Answer.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
AM 590. The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I don't know about you, but I was really looking forward to it this year. I think a lot of it has to do with the war that's going on in Israel and all the violence that you see there. And having been to both countries, I understand it a lot, but I look at it and I think so many men and women are fighting a horrible, horrible fight. And yet they're willing to do it. And because they know their race, their religion, their culture is going to be wiped out if they do not. And having just recently been to the Marine Corps ball, I really that night, as you looked at all the people that fought in Afghanistan and all the people that came home without limbs in Vietnam and Iraq and all of the Fallujah and all of the various people that gave their lives. And what a night that was to be able to go to that ball and see hero after hero. And a lot of them are women, and a lot of them are men, and then a lot of them are family members who literally lived a year or a year and a half or 2 years of their life without their mate so that we can have what we have. And as I see Israel fighting for their lives over there, and I see what is taking place, I think we've got to get back to the basics. We need to slow this thing down and start to remember who we are and what we stand for. You know, if you're having trouble being grateful, I'd encourage you to make a decision to do it. To go home and maybe do this as husband and wife and involve your children and see how many things you can make a list of that you're grateful for and have that dialogue with your kids. One of the things that I see when people go out for a walk is they enjoy the trees and the flowers and the birds and the sunsets and the sunrises, and they look around and it's able to take in a breath and be grateful to be alive. I think that it's important to look back sometimes at your old photos. For me, that's been very, very powerful of all the wonderful people that I have known, many of them in my family that I can't bring back. But I know that some of who I am is because of who they were. And the things that we shared and the thoughts that we had and the laughs that we did and the deep discussions that we had together. I read an article that maybe you should have a daily gratitude jar or a box, and you teach this with your children, that every day they write down one thing they're grateful for and put it in there, and then take it out every now and then and go through it. I'd encourage you to get outside of yourself this holiday and call somebody that you've been meaning to call for a long time. You know, when I realized all the young people that we've lost in our family this week, and my best friend lost her grandson, and only in his case only 31 years old. I lost my nephew 31. I lost a niece at 15, and I think how valuable they were in my life and how fleeting life is. I'd encourage you to call someone and or just send them an email, or if you're on Facebook, send them something funny and give them a laugh. And as I was talking at break, I have someone that in my life that just is priceless to me, an older lady, and I love to call her and just, in her case, she listens to the politics all day long because she lives by herself, and so I get her started, and then I just let her talk. Because you form opinions. I tell my kids that, I have an opinion, but nobody calls. But I'm ready if anybody calls, because I've been working on this opinion all day and I'm ready to unload it on somebody. And that's how it is that people form opinions and they want you to hear their thoughts and their feelings. Write an email or write a card or something that you can, or even a text just to say, I hope you're having a good day, thinking of you, looking forward to seeing you, and like that. And then also, I think that if there's a person that you know of that's having a hard time this holiday, holidays can be very difficult, especially if you're alone or if you're elderly or you are, had some sort of conflict going in your life, especially if there's a divorce in the family. Those can be very, very difficult things. I'd encourage you to be gracious. Don't have to be there on the holiday. Let others be with them. If there's multiple, I know so many families that have 4 families they have to visit over a holiday. Good grief. How can you ever relax and enjoy that? So find ways for inclusion and giving and like that. Well, I hope you have a very fine Thanksgiving season this year. As we're moving into Christmas, it's a time of reflection, I think. It's a time to decide, that we're seeing inflation, everything's costing more. What one thing can I do to let people know how important they are to me? I think I've shared with many of you over the years. Before my past husband died, he left me a note. He just typed it out and put it in a little frame. And it didn't cost him much, but I will never forget it. And it said, "To the most beautiful, most intelligent, hardest working woman in the world, love," in his name. And I cherish that. And I say that in our case, we have challenge coins that we sell that say, "I believe in you," on one side of them, and "Stand tall, you are loved," on the other. We do that because we work with a lot of foster kids, homeless, runaway, and pregnant kids. And they are the most likely kids to be either sex trafficked or to be sextorted online. So we have those challenge coins. If you're interested in one of them, they make great holiday gifts, by the way. They're $20 a piece, I think, without the gift box, and 25 with. But it is a lifetime. A challenge coin will never, ever wear out. And it is a lifetime way of letting them know, your grandkids and your kids, that you believe in them. But that's important too with your spouse. I look at my spouse and I'm so grateful to have joy in my life again, to have laughter and humor and sharing of chores. It's really ugly to make the bed by yourself. I don't care what you do. and we're like kids when it comes to the dishes. I go, well, let's just go out then. So. But take care of each other. Let them know how special they are to you. And the same way, take care of yourself. Take an inventory and decide that you are going to have a positive holiday season. It may be the last one you ever have, or at least the last one you ever have with some of the people you love. So let's go all out this season and find ways that we can really support each other and take care of each other and find the good. All of that starts with an attitude of gratitude, that life may not be perfect, but it's certainly very good. And I can guarantee you, having traveled all over the world, our life here in America is better than most places all around the world. And a lot of that is because we have our freedom. We have men and women who are much younger than ourselves, much stronger than ourselves, and praise God they're there. And that they're willing to go out. Less and less people are willing to make those sacrifices. And that is how we are free and how we stay free, is that we have good people that we raise up that are willing to do what it takes to defend our freedom. When I see all of the protests that are going on in the world and the craziness that's going on, I think, don't let that set you aside. For every one of those, there's somebody in a uniform in the United States that is willing to go out and fight for our freedom. So I hope you get ready for Christmas. I hope you have some fun parties together. But most important, I think what is important is sit down with your kids and talk about values and talk about happiness and talk about choices and talk about self-esteem and the willingness to forgive yourself and believe in yourself, and willingness to accept others and take time for others. I am absolutely convinced the most important people on earth are parents and grandparents, and you only get one shot at it. And whatever you do will be an impression for the rest of those people's lives. And they're most likely going to outlive you for a very long time. So let's give them good memories, okay? So with that, this is Opal Singleton. The organization is Million Kids, millionkids.org, not .com. That's a rock band. millionkids.org if you want to support our work. And believe me, I am grateful for our donors. We would not be here without you. You can do that at millionkids.org/donate. Folks, put your arms around your family this week and let them know how much you love them and what they mean to you. And have a great pre-holiday season. See you next week.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.